good people YouTube, I'm the watching it, and yeah, here we are flying for the first time in 4 years, which seems a very long time, and I am pleased to be back. But anyway, this got me thinking about GMT watches, obviously, because last year and even this year they're having their moment already. So I obviously had to be traveling with a GMT watch, and I've got my SSK GMT over here, and it's actually been almost exactly 6 months, actually just a little bit past 6 months. So in this video I'm gonna be going over just all the long-term goodness of the SSK GMT, because it is incredible. And then also I'm gonna answer the question if you can travel with a CALLER or office GMT, because a lot of people say, oh no, it's not a real GMT, which is such a stupid term. I mean, there's no such thing as a real and a fake GMT. They're just two different types of GMT. So yeah, anyway, yeah, let's just do it. Yeah, I am back home, and yeah, LA was absolutely amazing. But anyway, so in the GMT world, there are, some different terms flying around. So I just want to clarify and define the terms that I'll be using here in this video. First, there is what people would call the flyer or travel GMT, and then also there's what I really don't like, the true or real GMT. I'll be using flyer GMT here, but these terms are referring to the GMT complication that adjusts the hour hand independently forward and backwards. So you can then just quickly pop open the crown, adjust the hour hand a few spots forward or back, wherever you fly or travel to, a different time zone. And then the date will adjust accordingly forwards and backwards as well, which is pretty cool. And then the 24-hour hand will give you your home time. Also, this type of GMT is generally more expensive, although, that is changing, especially with Miyota. But the main thing that I absolutely hate about this type is that to change the date, you need to cycle the hour hand 24 hours every single time to move up a day or backwards. So yeah, if you're like 25 days away, it's going to take you a while unless you go backwards, but that just makes me uncomfortable. Then we have the CALLER or office GMT, which people wrongly consider the not real, quote unquote, not real GMT function. And I'm going to be referring to this as the CALLER GMT here. So yeah, the main difference when compared to the flyer GMT is that instead of the hour hand being adjustable forwards and backwards and being linked to the date, the 24-hour hand is the hand that adjusts independently, but it's not connected to the date. So that means that you get the traditional quick set date that you find on pretty much every modern watch. And this is really handy for when you're at the office or when you're not at home and you have to track or call people in different time zones. And then if you have to keep track of different time zones and then you have to change to a different time zone. I'm saying different time zone so many times. But anyway, all you have to do is just adjust the 24-hour hand accordingly instead of having to reset the entire watch all the way through and then having to pop back the hour hand back to your home time and things like that. So yeah, like you would have to do on the flyer GMT. And that's actually why I very much prefer the CALLER GMT, considering that I'm not really traveling as much nowadays, but I'm still keeping track of people around the world. And also the big thing is that since this kind of GMT is simpler, they're generally much cheaper than flyer GMTs. One thing that people often say is that, oh, you can't really travel with a CALLER GMT, you need a travel GMT or a flyer GMT. So that's really not the case at all, and at least not the case enough to have to spend more money just to have the ability to adjust the hour hand, which is a really cool thing to do though. I will give them that. So once I land in LA, which is 3 hours behind me, I can just adjust the 24-hour hand to the new local time, which is easy for me just because I use 24-hour time on pretty much anything that's digital. But I do get that sometimes with watches that don't have very prominent GMT hands, it could be a little bit of a legibility issue, but I don't see that much of a problem. But let's say I'm on the plane and I happen to not adjust the time here, or on a flyer GMT and I have to rush off to catch my next flight. If I have a rotatable bezel, applicable to flyer GMT as well, all I have to do is just adjust the 24-hour bezel to line up with the 24-hour hand to show the current time of wherever you are or your layover is. And you can do this while you're running because it's literally a bezel. And this is something that cannot be done with my Black Bay Pro or any other GMT without an external bezel. So yeah, obviously I love the look of those watches, but from a practicality standpoint, having an external bezel will always be better for me in these situations. So yeah. So after 6 months of owning and enjoying the SSK GMT, I have many things that I love about this watch. And the very first thing that I still love to this day, and every single time I see it, it excites me, is the bezel. And so yeah, first off, they kept the grip the same as the SKX, but they improved it by making it actually grippy. So yeah, good job for finally giving the SKX a bezel that can do its one and only job. And then the big thing is the finish of the bezel insert, and it's Hardlex as far as I know, maybe mineral crystal, I'm not quite exactly sure, but the color of the bottom gray half changes completely depending on the light, because in some situations it's full on black, like the top half, but then when the light hits it differently, or even if just a light color surface reflects on it, it goes full on light gray. And it's awesome. I mean, it's kind of a sort of like a metallic-y black chrome finish underneath the crystal. It's not very common. I haven't seen this ever, pretty much. And then finally, I love that the bezel is a sliding bezel, because that means that I can place the bezel exactly where I want it, instead of being stuck to, you know, 60 or 120 clicks, which isn't that bad, or for a GMT, you know, 24 clicks or 48 clicks, which I don't like very much. And yeah, also, you know, being a sliding bezel, that means that there will never be any alignment issues on any of these watches, at least as far as the bezel is concerned. So yeah, all the better. And my next love is the dial. And yeah, that's just because I absolutely love the layout of the SKX. I mean, I've got 3 SKXs, and the SSK is basically just that, but with an extra level of refinement because of the metallic surrounds on all of the indices. And this makes such a huge difference when it comes to, you know, elevating the entire watch and making it feel much higher quality. Also, the other thing that this does is give the dial a little bit more balance, and that's because on the SKX, the surrounds are white, and that makes the indices a little bit bigger, which can sometimes make the indices just look a little bit too big for the handset, or just maybe a bit too big in general, depending on your taste. Next up, I just love that the GMT hand is prominent and red. I mean, I love GMT watches because of the extra visual element that comes with a GMT hand. So as far as I'm concerned, go bold with it, you know, so long as it obviously doesn't get confused with the hour hand. That's the first thing. So this is a love and a hate depending on the bracelet that I'm referring to. So the disc comes with the original bracelet, and you know, I like a well done Jubilee bracelet like most people, but this one, I don't know, just didn't feel that great. You know, at the base level, it is okay because it's not necessarily uncomfortable, but it does occasionally pull my hair a little bit more than I would want it to. And yeah, and I also really don't like that Seiko made the links in a way that doesn't allow them to be fully articulating, which is just really bizarre to me. But my big time love comes from the bracelet that I bought for it, the Strapco Beads of Rice bracelet, which I have a link below the like button in the description. So yeah, this bracelet pretty much fixes everything because it is fully articulating, and it does have that little bit of lateral flex, so it wears like an absolute freaking dream on the wrist. And if it wasn't for this bracelet, I really don't think that I would have worn this watch as much as I have. Also, this might be something unique to me, but I love that this bracelet gives me, you know, the illusion of a heavier taper, which goes on to make this look a little bit more svelte and wearable, especially compared to my other SKXs on the same, you know, tapering 22 to 18 bracelet. So yeah, strap code, whatever you're doing, just keep on doing it. This is absolutely amazing, and also your other bracelet for that matter. So yeah, there you have it. The SSK is an absolutely incredible watch, and you can absolutely travel with it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below, and as always, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and then also subscribe if you want to see more about other GMTs and things like that. So yeah, until the next video, good day.